So, Darlie Routier, Part 3. How many times did the story of the tragic night of June 6, 1996 change? Well, if I was to tell you that the official accounting, according to several different news organizations and people who have written on her story, if I told you that her accounting of that night changed not once, not twice, not 3 times, but a total of 7 times. So before the trial started, the detectives had asked her, since she was not very clear about certain details, they asked her if she would be willing to try hypnosis or a relaxation therapist who could help her relax and then be able to recall certain events more clearly. And it has been proven scientifically that that relaxation, not the hypnosis, but the relaxation therapy, if administered correctly, and then the person once they're calm and detached from the situation, and they're not underneath a huge amount of stress or depression from it, they can recall a lot of details that they may have missed beforehand. Did Darlie ever do it? No. And here's an exact quote of why she never did it. I wanted to, but I never found the correct time to do it. Evidence that worked against her in her trial, besides the video of her throwing the party on top of her newly buried sons in their freshly dug grave. Yeah, and several times, if you watch the complete unedited version, she actually stepped into the dirt that in the mounds of the graves while she was actually shooting silly string and running around like a complete lunatic. All right, but things that she that worked against her in her trial, because a lot more evidence than just that video. And I'm not downplaying that video and how important it is. I'll get to that later on. Cast-off voids. A cast-off void is where, say, like you're stabbing someone over and over and over again, and a cast-off void is where you're something gets in the way, so the cast-off can't continue on its path. Say you stab someone next to a movable object, a trash can, or a painting, or some kind of object that can be later moved away. Well, you'd see a cast-off line going up to it, and maybe around the object. But if that object is moved, there's a void there where the object, where an object was in the way. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 different places in the crime scene had cast-off voids where an object had been in that area and had been removed before the police ever showed up. Yes. Cast-off voids. Items removed from the actual scene before the first detectives ever got on the scene. Something else that didn't work for her. Items removed from their original locations before the attack. Now, in the outline of the property itself and the floor plan, I showed you where Damon body laid near the front entryway, and where he finally, when they came in for the EMTs, they were able to, he was still alive, and they rushed him to the hospital, and he died en route. But where his attack actually took place, on that wall that separates between the living room family room area and the dining room area, those two rooms there was a large, expensive painting that was on the wall, that had always been on the wall. Even Darlene's mother said it had always been there since they moved in. It hung on that wall. That painting had been removed from the wall and placed behind the couch where Darlie said she fell asleep. Why was that painting moved? Well, Darlie, originally was kind of dumbfounded at the fact that everybody knew that the painting was always there. Stammered and said, well, it was moved because I was cleaning it, and I placed it there out of the way. Next thing that played a crucial role in the trial and evidence-wise that didn't help Darlie at all was, did she ever attempt to render first aid to either of her boys? Now, remember, she had already been cut, slashed, and stabbed, all right, before she called 911. The 911 operator in the transcript walked her through how to administer first aid to the stab wounds of her boys. If she actually did render first aid to either Davon or to Damon, there would be blood from her at the sides of either one of her boys. By the photo and the outline of the floor plan and where blood samples were taken and tested, DNA, all this stuff was tested, there would have been pooling of blood near where they were of her blood. And there would have been transfer of blood of one to the other, or vice versa, back and forth. And there was none. Well, there was a couple droplets of her blood next to Davon's body of hers. Two small droplets, like as if she walked by. And how do they know this? Well, take an eyedropper. All right, I'm sure someone out there has got an eyedropper or something like that, or for like a child, go get the little Tylenol bottle of medicine for a child. Take some of that, suck it up in a little eyedropper. Now, hold it 6 inches above a piece of paper. Hold it at 12 inches above a paper, and hold it at 18 inches above a paper. And look at how on that piece of paper the splatter pattern is different for each one. All right? Now, put a book on a table, flat, put another book at an angle, and then put that piece of paper on top of that book that's on an angle. Now do the same thing, same distances, and look at how the blood looks differently. All right? That is cast-off pattern, or droplet pattern disbursement. All right? The blood droplets that were near both of her son are straight downward pooling of blood, like the one where the piece of paper you just did was sitting over a piece of paper that was sitting on a table. That's how that blood was. It wasn't like at an angle, like she was leaning over the child to and to administer aid. But at the same time, curiously, as a 911 operator had mentioned to use a towel, there were a couple of hand towels found with blood on them at the crime scene. One had just her blood on it. Another one had a mixture of the two boys' blood on it. How did a towel get one boy's blood on and then the other if she didn't administer first aid. Now, she couldn't have administered first aid. She couldn't have held one on her neck, okay, and then administered first aid with the other because this arm had a cut in it. She still would have bled. This couldn't have been covered up because it still would have bled because she had a cut here, stab here, cut here. These are facts. You can't argue. You can say she's innocent, but you have to look at the actual facts. She never really was able to answer that. Nor was she able to answer how on her dominant side, right-hand side, how their blood ended up on the back, on the top of her shoulder area here, and then on her back. Droplets, cast off. She had no defense to that at all. Every single week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I now upload a new video by 10 a.m. 10 a.m. So if you come to my channel at 10 a.m. on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, you will now be greeted by a brand new video from me. Thank you again. All right, one last little pitch because, well, I have to do this. It's the YouTube thing. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Hit that bell icon so you're notified when the next video comes up. And don't forget to go to my Teespring store. Everything that is left in that I have right now is on sale until the end of the year. I have sold out of so much. I am sorry, but I am not replenishing the items until the new year when I can offer better pricing once I become monetized, but I'm not monetized. So, but right now, go check it out. Go check out those the stuff. I mean, it helped me out, helped this channel out, and thank you again.